Good morning. My name is Samantha Sandoval, student number 000350802. A brief history of cosmetics. Dating back from around 3500 BC to our current day and time, cosmetics have been an intricate part of society. Although cosmetics have been around for quite some time, the meaning and uses have dramatically changed. Over the last century to our current day, women have followed trends to enhance beauty, but that has not always been the case. During the ancient ages, the primary use of cosmetics was for aesthetic purposes as well as religious rituals and medical remedies. Cosmetics have come a long way from coal and oil and is now much more than just lipstick, although some harmful chemicals in animal testing are still used today. The evolution of cosmetics is ever changing and there's always more to learn. From the start, around 3500 BC, the Egyptians regarded beauty as holiness. History of cosmetics, no date. Cosmetic usage was not limited to just women. Men used cosmetics too, as it was believed the cosmetics had magical powers. The main usage was of kohl, which we consider black eyeliner, which was placed on the eye in an almond shape. The almond shape was to resemble the falcon eye of god Horus. The Eye of Horus was believed by the Egyptians to have magical protective powers from the myth of the Battle of Horus. History of cosmetics, no date. The other popular form was green eye paint that was made of a green carbonate of copper. Ancient Greeks also used cosmetics. Mentioned 2 times in the New Testament, when Jehu came to Jezreel, Jezebel heard of it, and she painted her eyes and adorned her head and looked out the window. The Holy Bible, the book of 2 Kings 9:30, indicates the painting of the face during that time. The New Testament also mentions Esther's use of various cosmetics and beauty treatments. In ancient Rome, men were not as accepting of cosmetic usage. Most viewed the usage as manipulative and deceptive. Cosmetics were mainly used by the wealthy due to the outrageous cost. Generally, slaves applied the wealth's cosmetics in private rooms where men were not allowed to enter. Despite women exaggerating their makeup due to poor lighting, history of cosmetics, no date, in the 19th century, they still wanted to seem natural as it was a sign of chastity. Makeup was not the only form used during this time. Due to the poor quality of most makeup, they often didn't smell good. Smelling good was a sign of good health, which in turn made many women apply heavy amounts of perfume to cover up the stench. The true turning point of cosmetics is in the 1920s. Manufacturers began producing mass quantities, which plummeted the price mark, making cosmetics much more affordable. In the 20s, we saw the emergence of liquid nail polish and brightly colored lipstick. Powdered compacts and compact blushes were introduced too. The most prominent change during the 20s was the now extremely popular sun-kissed tan. Coco Chanel said, "A girl simply has to be tan." Next came the 30s, where fake eyelashes and drawn-on brows became popular. Eyebrows were plucked super thin or shaved off altogether, and mascara was a necessity. The one thing that was popular in both the 20s and the 30s was the fingernail painting techniques. Only the center of the nail was painted, leaving the tip and the half moon by the cuticle bare, as shown in this picture. Only the center of the nail was painted, leaving the tip and the half moon by the cuticle bare. In the late 30s, women began painting all the way to the tip, still leaving the half moon bare. The 50s were known as the golden age of makeup. The first non-smear lipstick was introduced, and pink took over the prominent red. Liquid foundations combined with loose powder were used for a more natural look, but the heavy brows and dark eyeliners became popular. The elegant look of the 50s continued into the 60s. In the 70s, women went for the more natural look. If they looked like they didn't have any makeup on, then they reached their goal. The 80s were the era of Madonna and Cyndi Lauper. The makeup in this era was fun and bold. Lipstick colors were bright and eyeshadows were dark and shimmery. The 90s were all about glitter, nudes, neutrals, and the all-hated perm. Now for the 2000s. Some of the current trends include chunky highlights, headbands, and large lips. Tan skin and perfectly manicured nails are expected, and everyone loves sparkling white teeth. Now, are all of these things we use safe? Cosmetics have come a long way in terms of safety, but there is still work to be done. Due to non-updated cosmetic regulations, we need to be careful what we put on our bodies on a daily basis. Some products are still being tested on animals, as it is legal in the United States. Animal testing-free products can be identified by the symbol on the product packaging, whereas the terms described next can be found under the ingredient listing. Here are some examples of the logos you find on product packaging that is animal testing free. Most of us are familiar with the term perfume, an ingredient found in most fragrances that is linked to thousands of chemicals known to cause asthma and allergies. Parabens are found in 70 to 90% of cosmetics. Jesvi L., March 7, 2012, and has been linked to breast cancer. Lastly, formaldehyde. Formaldehyde is a popular preservative used widely in the preservation of deceased bodies. Reading ingredient labels will help us be knowledgeable about what we are putting on our bodies. As you have heard, cosmetics are and will always be an essential part of life. The ancient ages used them for religious purposes, leading us into the 1900s, where usage became used for aesthetic purposes, to as of late, where its main purpose is to enhance feeling beautiful. Although harmful ingredients and animal testing are still used in the composition of cosmetics, we continue to become aware and protect ourselves from them. Cosmetics will continue to evolve, and so will the trends, and we will always adapt and learn more as technological advances allow us to do so. Thank you.